Thank you for choosing the SNL Fan Podcast, and I'm your host, just some guy named Jay. And what we'll be doing in this one is we'll be reviewing the Zach Galifianakis episode that aired May 4th. But before I do that, I just want to give a shout out. I want to give a shout out to Mono Bagends. He has a hot single out by the name of You Drive Me Crazy. He also has another single out called On Fire. Check out both of those singles. I'm going to have the links to the singles in the information box below. Check them out. They're hot singles. Also, too, there's a campaign to see if you can get them on Saturday Night Live as a musical guest. So I'll put that link in there as well if you're feeling the music and you want to vote. Even if the vote doesn't actually go anywhere, it'd just be great to see how many that everyone can collect. So definitely check that out. The campaign to get Mono Bagends on SNL as a musical guest. And check out his 2 singles. All right? And post your feedback on that as well. All right, so let me get into this review. I know it's a little late, but I just didn't have time to do it earlier, but I'm going to go ahead and knock this out. Like I said, this season has been the best as far as cold openings. And this cold opening was actually funny. I liked it. Taran, Killam, Bobby Moynihan, Vanessa, they killed it. Doing the Fox and Friends parody. I also liked it when they addressed the gay NBA player Jason Collins thing. Now I know everybody's calling him a hero, and he's saying he's a hero for coming out of the closet and this and that. And they were saying that he's not really a hero. He just what is this? How does this make you a hero? And actually, you know what? I know they're making a joke, and they're trying to be, they're trying to make it seem like they're being insensitive to him coming out of the closet. But I just want to say that I want to throw my 2 cents on this. I don't think he's a hero for this either. They're saying, oh, he's so brave, he's so brave. Now, if Jason Collins was so brave, he should have actually came out of the closet while he was signed. Now that he's a free agent, now all of a sudden he wants to tell everybody he's gay. He's out of the closet, and also he's a little older now. He's kind of over the hill. He should have did this when he was younger, and when he was still signed to somebody. Now then that would have said, okay, well, he's a hero. Oh my God, he's a gay NBA player, and oh man, this and that. Yeah, that would have made him a hero if he would have came out of the closet then. But that's like a comedian or an actor or an actress coming out of the closet when they no longer have any work or their career is over. Now all of a sudden they want to say, hey, I'm gay. It's like, okay, you don't have anything to lose. See, like the NBA player Jason Collins, he doesn't have anything to lose right now. So of course it's like, okay, yeah. Actually, I don't think that makes, like I said, he said, that doesn't make you a hero. Now, if you're gay, you're listening to this, is not dissing you guys. I don't have anything against, what you guys, do behind closed doors, and I don't discriminate. But what I'm trying to say is this: I would have said he was a hero if he would have came out of the closet a lot earlier, not when it's over, And then he was never really like a big star anyway. Like he's just one of those guys, But yeah, moving right along though. But you feel free to post your comments on that as well. But the whole thing was funny. Fred Armisen, like I said, I'm tired of Fred Armisen, but he did well in this skit. So yeah, when he does things like this, it's like, okay, well, I guess you can keep him a little longer. But I mean, Fred Armisen's overall performance this season just hasn't been. Well, more on that later. I'll talk about that in a different podcast. Moving on to the monologue, Zach Galifianakis did his thing. The jokes were hitting. Everything was solid. See, I love it when comedians host. It's pretty much you can't mess that up. You get to go up there, do your act. It was no song and dance or whatever. I mean, he did play the piano. That's what he does. But it was hard hitting jokes. And I enjoyed every moment of that. The Game of Thrones parody, in my opinion, it got a little stale after a minute, but I like the premise of that skit. And I think they should have made the premise of the skit a little more obvious to some of the people that you might have to dumb it down for. Because this is what I got from the skit. This is what made it funny to me. You have these nerds who know all types of things about Star Trek and in my case Saturday Night Live. They know all these things about these television shows and these cult classics and things like that. They can tell you who played in what movie, and and they can tell you things about Lords of the Rings and all this stuff like that. But they just don't know everyday stuff. Like you just talk about things that happen in your everyday life. They can't answer that. But they can answer things like the stuff about Game of Thrones and things like that. That was funny. I like where they were going with that. I mean, they should have made that a little more obvious. That's where they were going with that. But but it was still enjoyable. I like Bill Hader's the character's name, O.J. Simpson. He should actually just do game shows as O.J. Simpson in the future until it gets stale. At least 2 or 3 more times. That's a funny recurring character name right there. You can't. Pretty much writes itself. The Match.com commercial really wasn't understanding it why they had to include Martha Stewart. They could have. I thought they were just going to make fun of Match.com, but they, I guess, what is Martha Stewart a member of Match.com right now or something? And that's why this is funny, or they're just trying to find a way to make fun of Martha, or have Kate McKinnon do Martha Stewart, because I was kind of lost on that a little bit. Moving right along, the Jennifer Aniston lookalike competition, I really liked it. The cameos from Bradley Cooper and Ed Helms, they kind of flipped their names around, Radley Cooper and Ted Helms. That was cool, but what made this skit, and it wasn't even really Zach Galifianakis. That was funny for a couple of minutes, but then it's like, okay, you don't look anything like Jennifer Aniston, some big fat guy with a wig, and you think you're gonna win. What really I liked about it is Nasim Pedrad's and Vanessa Bayer's Jennifer Aniston impersonation. And there's also another woman. I think she was going to end up being on that New and Living Color, but that's not going to come out. I think her name is something MacQueen. I can't think of her name. And I'm too lazy to Google her and find this out just for the podcast. But it's a woman named I think her name is Sarah McQueen or something McQueen. And she does a great impersonation of Jennifer Aniston. Also does a great impersonation of Sarah Silverman too. See this stuff like this. It makes me sad that Nasim is going. And I feel like Nasim could have actually just killed SNL. She could have. I don't mean kill in a bad way. I mean kill like she could have just bodied every skit. But I don't know. She's not really getting that much airtime this season, and she's going to be leaving. Like, dang, all that raw talent that's just going to end up she's going to play one character, the same character every week. I feel like she should have got the most out of her sketch comedy experience, even though she did Groundlings and, whatever improv troupe she came from. Let's see, Keenan Thompson's Whoopi Goldberg. He said, when Zach Galifianakis said, this person dressed like Whoopi Goldstein. I like that. Like I said, I don't judge the music, so I'm not going to say anything of Monsters and Men. The weekend update, Seth Meyers is back. He's back on fire, because Seth Meyers seemed like the beginning of the season. Seth Meyers had those hard hitting jokes. I guess because of the political stuff and and the Mitt Romney and the Obama going back and forth. I guess he had a lot of material for that, but it seems like after the Christmas break. It seems like Seth Meyers he may be hot in some parts, it may be cold in some parts, but I liked a lot of Seth Meyers jokes in this one. There's some that weren't really hitting, but for the most part, Seth Meyers did his thing. Bill Hader's James Carville is always great. He always does that really, really well. Fred Armisen's bit, I actually enjoyed it. I liked it. Fred Armisen actually runs jokes into the ground the moment he does them. As opposed to like Kristen Wiig, who keeps doing a character all the time, and then it gets stale. Fred Armisen, it gets stale in the middle of him doing it. And the Randall Meeks thing, it was getting kind of weak. But I rather see that than the best friend skit with him and Vanessa Bayer. Cecily Strong's the girl you wish you hadn't started a conversation with at a party. That's a good character. She needs to retire it after she does it 3 more times this season. It's funny, but if you don't work that into a skit, I don't want to see it on Weekend Update anymore. I mean, I think you're getting all the we know where you're going with this. It's not a hit like Bill Hader's Stefan or or Bobby Moynihan's Drunk Uncle. In my opinion. If you feel differently, feel free to post your comments. The M&M store, that skit, it's okay. You kind of got, the racial stuff and then the discrimination. It was funny, but it's like, it's like, it's one of those things like you can tell where they're going with this by certain setups, and it was okay, not bad, but not really good either. It was like, my opinion. Now the Daryl's house skit, the first part of it, that was funny. Even him, that was funny. Now when they didn't, I know like they ended up doing it again at the end of the show, like the actual cut ups that they were doing, how they were edited. Because I was thinking they need to show the edited version of what he's doing. I want to see that. I want to see how they cut and paste that together. As he was describing it, like no. What's the name is going to come in at this point? We're just using you for the markers and stuff. Like it was great. Keenan Thompson was funny. Everybody was funny in this. I really liked how they were editing up like a little weird little, public access type show. Let's see. So yeah, Daryl's house was good. The Michael Jordan's wedding, it was cool. It was cool. Jason and Zach Galifianakis, you could tell he's going back doing drugs in between the introducing people. That was funny to me. It just, it just didn't seem like this Michael Jordan wedding thing. It just seemed like it was just an excuse just to address the Michael Jordan wedding. It didn't seem like it just really was that. Like, I don't know. It was kind of like we was like, hey, let's try this. It's one of those kind of things to me. Fred Armisen, yeah, I liked his accent. He as the father, it was cool. I know you're saying accents aren't funny, but I mean, I like the way it's just kind of what you're saying and how you're putting it together. It kind of makes it funny, in my opinion. Not that you have an accent or I have a different accent from me, from an American person, but it's just that it's just, I don't know, the way you deliver it and like kind of saying things funny, or whatever. Anyway, moving right along, the New Balance commercial, I like that. I'm saying? The hot athletic gear worn by fat, out of shape guys. I'm saying? It was fat, out of shape white guys. That was hilarious. I like that commercial better than the Martha Stewart commercial. And I usually like Kate McKinnon too. Daryl's house, the edited version where it showed John Hamm and all that. Hey, they can't really say much about it. It was funny. Overall, what I'd like to say is it was good, but it was just good. That's all. It wasn't spectacular. It's not wasn't a classic. Nothing that it's just Zach Galifianakis always does his thing, and you can kind of tell that this episode had a lot of his influence. I mean, even though some of the skits weren't that great, you could tell that with his performances, that Zach Galifianakis really stepped into this. Well, anyway, that's all I like to say about this episode. Definitely, I got some things to say about that Kristen Wiig episode that's coming up. So yeah, I'm gonna tell you what I think about that at the beginning of that particular podcast. So that's all I like to say. Again, check out Mono Bagends. His songs are in the information box below, and definitely vote if you want to see him on SNL. Hey, may not go anywhere, but hey, it's just fun to do, Again, I'm just some guy named Jay. Good night and have a pleasant tomorrow.